It was a bright Sunday morning, February 21st, 1970, in Sydney, Australia. Planes roared across the clear blue sky, children played in the distance, and the airport buzzed with life. No one could imagine that within a few hours, the sky would witness one of the most horrifying and tragic deaths ever captured on camera. 14-year-old Keith Sapsford was not an ordinary boy. He was restless, curious, and always fascinated by travel and adventure. His parents had recently returned from a long overseas trip, but Keith couldn't stop thinking about the places he had seen in their photographs: Tokyo, London, New York. He wanted to see the world for himself, but Keith's parents were worried about his rebellious behavior. They sent him to a Catholic youth home in Sydney, hoping discipline might help him settle down. It didn't work. Keith's desire for freedom only grew stronger and darker. On that fateful February morning, Keith escaped from the youth home. He took a bus to Sydney's Kingsford Smith Airport, the same airport where he had once watched planes take off for distant lands. For hours, he wandered through the fences and security zones unnoticed. And then, he saw it. A massive Japan Airlines DC-8 preparing to fly from Sydney to Tokyo. In his young, innocent mind, he thought, "If I can't buy a ticket, I'll just hide inside the plane." As the aircraft sat on the runway, Keith found a ladder leading near the landing gear. He crawled inside the wheel well, a dark, cramped space between the plane's wheels and the body. He curled up, shivering, his heart pounding with excitement and fear. He had no idea what was about to happen. When the engine started, the noise was deafening. The plane began to move. Keith held on tightly as the world below him started to vanish. The aircraft accelerated down the runway, 200 km/h, and lifted off into the sky. At that moment, the landing gear began to retract. The giant steel wheels folded back into the belly of the plane, and with them, the little boy hidden inside. A gust of hot air and mechanical force knocked him loose. He screamed, but no one could hear him. Keith fell 200 feet through the air, his body spinning helplessly against the bright morning sky. At that very instant, a man named John Gilpin, a local photographer, was testing his new camera from a nearby hill. He didn't know what he had just captured until days later. When he developed his film, he froze. In one of the frames, against the backdrop of the climbing DC-8, a tiny figure was falling, legs spread, arms reaching out. It was Keith, frozen in time. Falling to his death, the photo shocked the entire world. A perfect moment of horror, captured by pure accident. The newspapers called it "The Boy Who Fell from the Sky." But what made it even more haunting was this. Keith's father, only weeks before, had warned his son about the dangers of sneaking onto planes. He told him, "People who hide in planes die. The doors close and there's no air. You'll never make it." Keith had laughed. He didn't believe it. He never got a chance to learn how true those words were. Years later, the same tragedy repeated itself. In 1996, two brothers from India, Pradeep and Vijay Saini, hid in the wheel well of a British Airways jet from Delhi to London. They dreamed of a better life, but their frozen bodies were found upon landing. History had repeated the same horror, young dreamers crushed by the cold machinery of reality. Inside the wheel wells of an airplane, temperatures drop to -50°C. Oxygen disappears, the air pressure plummets. Even if someone survives takeoff, the cold and lack of oxygen kill them within minutes. Those who don't freeze fall when the landing gear opens again. Keith's story is not just about a boy who fell from the sky. It's about human curiosity, the desperate longing for freedom, and the tragic price of dreams taken too far. Every time a plane takes off from Sydney, some say they can still feel a strange chill near the runway, as if a lost boy still watches the sky, waiting for the journey he never completed.